Hi, everyone. This episode is sponsored by 1AZ Credit Union. The heart of our community is familia. It's where we find connection, support, and belonging. And here in Arizona, we know that our familia is more than just a collection of traditions. It's a way of life. At 1AZ Credit Union, they understand the importance of community. As a local, inclusive, and trusted credit union, they are committed to helping you succeed so that our community can thrive. Whether you're saving for a home, starting a business, or planning for your children's future, they are your partner in building a better future for yourself and your familia. 1AZ Credit Union, contigo en comunidad. Alicia Monique Blanco, welcome to Latinas Power Talk.
Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm blessed.
Blessed. Amen. We are blessed. We're alive, we're healthy, we're here, we're blessed, right? I love your resume. Let's start with that.
Thank you.
What haven't you done? Because let me give people a little Spark Notes version of everything that you've done. Bullet points. You are a model. You are a singer. You're the NBA in-game host for the Phoenix Suns. You also were Miss Arizona and runner-up for Miss USA. And you're barely in your 30s.
I wouldn't say barely. I'm on my way out the 30s. But
you are still young. There's still so much for you to do. You're building a business with your sister, which we're going to dive into everything. How does it feel reflecting back and seeing, damn, I've done all those things?
Well, first of all, thank you for that amazing introduction. It's pretty cool to look back and see all the dreams I had as a little girl. They came true. And life is fun and life is awesome. And there is no limit. You know the quote, sky's the limit, but really I've always lived by there is no limit. And a lot of people will tell you like, pick your one dream, but why? Why pick one when you can do everything that you have on your heart to do? So looking back, I just feel really thankful that I just went for everything because you only get one life to live. So you may as well do it all.
Exactly. I feel like that's something that I resonate and I tell my friends all the time too, because I feel like sometimes we're so selfish with our time and saying, oh, I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. And you don't know how much time you have. So might as well use right now, the present, to do the things that you actually were wanting to always envision yourself doing, right? So out of all those things that you've done, have they always been in your mind of like, I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do this? Has it always been, or has it been like a process of like just evolving as a person and diving into new like interests as you grow?
Definitely evolving because I was very shy as a little girl. When I discovered that I could sing, it was when the movie Selena came out.
Yes.
And my parents and my family would be like, sing, sing, sing. And I would like cry, kick and scream. I'd run and hide. So if you would have told that little girl one day you're going to sing the national anthem multiple times, you know.
In front of a huge crowd.
I would have never believed.
Thousands of people. Yeah.
So definitely evolving and kind of just being in the right place at the right time, being dared to do things, needing things for a resume. The pageant was just a dare. And I thought, well, it looks good for someone aspiring to be on TV, so I may as well. And then it just went my way. And so, yeah, definitely evolving and growing and just betting on myself and shooting my shot, even if I was scared.
Which one out of everything has been like the one closest to your heart that you're like, ooh, that's a chapter in the book that I love to reread?
A chapter in the book that I will love to reread, I'm still in it, is being the in-arena host for the Phoenix Suns because I grew up as a diehard Phoenix Suns fan with my family, with my mom, my dad, my little sister. We'd go watch and sit up in the nosebleeds back when it was the America West Arena. And I just have so many memories of, you know, the game is on, it's 1993, my dad's watching, it's just in my heart. And so even now when I go host a game, I carry that with me down on the court. I still get emotional and it's still very much a bit of an out-of-body experience. Yeah. So I think right now I will love looking back years and years and years from now. If God blesses me with kids and grandbabies, this will be the story I tell.
The amount of people, honestly, that have told me, oh my gosh, I would love to do her job. Like so many of my friends have been like, man, if I had a dream job, it would be to be the NBA in-game host. Is it as fun as it seems? Because yes, you were a fan before you were the host, but now it's different because now like you're working it. Mm-hmm. So do you still get to like enjoy it, or is it like work because you have to like, you know, be present and, you know, kind of like entertain the crowd?
I'm not going to lie. It's more fun than what it
Really?
seems because I'm the ultimate fan and I have the best seats in the house.
Yeah. You
It's
really
with the
do.
fans.
Yeah.
My job is, the fans, taking care of them, making sure they're having fun and they're entertained while being front row, while being on the court, while Devin Booker just walks by. There goes KD. It's just so crazy and out of body. So it's more fun than what it seems.
So I want to dig deep into who Alicia Monique Blanco is. Take us to the beginning of your entertainment journey. Where did it all start?
A dare. It all started in college, I think. Because again, I was super shy as a kid. So singing, modeling, all the things was not even a twinkle in my eye. Okay. It was never going to happen.
But did you have it like, oh, it'd be nice? Like as that shy little girl, was it something that you like envisioned at some point of like, man, that would be nice, but I'm so shy. How can I do it?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think what happens is as kids, we are invincible. We want to go to the moon. We want to be a famous singer. We want to become the president of the United States. And then life happens.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bully. There's a mean girl. Someone tells you X, Y, or Z. And
Doubts, insecurities start to bleed in. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's something that I hate to see because when we're kids, there's no limit. We are ready for the world. We can do and have and be anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, life happens. And I don't know where along the line something happened where I just shut down. And those dreams of singing, yes, it was in my heart. I was like, oh, I want to sing. I love singing. I knew I could sing as a kid, but I just shut it down. I refused even to go to singing lessons. My parents tried so hard to get me to go to singing lessons, and nope. Even at family functions, if they begged me to sing, and my sister will tell you, I would cry.
Really?
Yeah, it was a whole thing. So pushed that aside, conformed to society, go to school, do well in school, get the good grades so that you could get the good scholarships, go to a good college and free ride. And I did know I wanted to do reporting or be on the news, be on TV in some way, shape, or form. I just thought I'd be like a news reporter. And I'll never forget in English 101, this beautiful girl walks in and I thought to my head, wow, she looks like she's Miss America. She's so pretty. She just took my breath away. And I told her that. I was like, you're so pretty. And she's like, thank you. I actually just won Miss Arizona last night. She had just won.
Oh, wow.
And
this was in high school?
No, this was in college.
Okay,
like freshman or sophomore year. She's like, I just won last night. So thank you for saying that. I'm leaving for Miss USA. And she was, by the way, you should try it next year. Girl, listen, I had like my chanclas on. I wasn't a tomboy. I've always been girly, but I was not like pageant girl, makeup, hair, outfit.
The whole stereotype.
Right. I had literally holes in my chanclas. Like I just was and I thought it was hilarious that she thought I should do it.
Yeah.
And I just put that in my back pocket. And then she disappeared because she like left to Miss USA. And then I was working at a restaurant as the hostess, and a few people told me that I looked like the reigning Miss USA. And I'm like, again, with all this pageant talk, is this a sign, God? And I didn't even know the difference between Miss USA and Miss America. I didn't know anything, but I just kept hearing these signs. Because, God will send people and signs to you.
I believe that. Yeah.
That's what kind of opened the door. And then in college, again, I'm in broadcast journalism, Cronkite School. And
You went to Cronkite too?
I did.
Get out of here.
You know how they teach you about on-camera makeup and all the things? And I forget who it was, but someone was like, you should try pageants because it's great for on-stage confidence and presence. And
someone
it breaks
at
the
Cronkite told you this?
Yes. You know what it was? I think I was interning at a news station, and someone at the news station was like, you should just do pageants. That's going to help with your on-camera presence, all the things. Just give it a shot. So I thought that's now the third or fourth time.
Right.
Someone's put it in my mind.
I should probably listen to it.
I should go with it.
Yeah.
Learn how to do makeup because Lord knows I was still wearing like roll-on glitter, like who knows what I was doing. Yeah. Okay. Blush, bronzer. It was just awful. So I was like, at the very least, I'll learn how to do makeup.
Yeah.
And now look, like I'd just be beating this face for every Suns game. I don't have a makeup artist. I've worked with many, but I learned so much in the pageant world. So I think that's what kind of kickstarted everything. It reopened my heart's desire to pursue entertainment and being on camera and squashed all that shyness. It was still there, but it definitely helped get rid of it.
Do you remember when you went to your audition for Miss Arizona? Because that's how you kind of get your leg in, right? So Miss USA is, once you win Miss Arizona, you go to compete to Miss USA as your state representative. But do you remember that audition?
I, again, did not think I was ever going to win. I wasn't in it to win it. I was in it because, okay, people tell me I should do it. It'll break the ice. I'll get more confident. So I went and had fun, girl. I was like, I'm going to just have fun.
I'm going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't have a coach. I've never done toddlers and tiaras. I wasn't raised in pageants like all these other girls. I don't come from money. There's no way I stand a chance. And then I end up getting second place, first runner up. And I thought, dang, if I could do that with no experience, I'm going to come back next year and win the darn thing. And I did.
And you did. You believed in yourself so strongly. Like, looking back, how does that make you feel of like that girl that you were back then? Like, if you could see her, what would you tell her right now?
Wow. I mean, God definitely was up to something then, and I didn't know it. He was opening the door to, confidence and this conviction to, shoot your shot always and not care what people think and strut your stuff and be yourself unapologetically. And it was also, showing me that I could eat healthy for the first time because I had to say no to the tortillas and the frijoles and all the things, all the comfort foods.
Let's talk about that.
So first time working out, really.
I don't know if I should call it a stereotype, but there's like this known perception of how pageantry is and how, sometimes they're really hard on you on like, obviously your body, obviously the way that you look. How was your experience through that entire thing of like, you said you had to change your diet a little bit, but how was your experience through, going for Miss USA?
We have to keep in mind, you're going to be on national TV. I was live on NBC. The camera, they always say adds 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And it hits every angle. So you go into it knowing you're going to be in a bikini and in heels for the world to see.
Yeah.
And back then, our president was literally I don't even know what his title was. Donald Trump, like he owned the Miss Universe organization. So he was very involved. He was there. And the celebrity panel, your family's in the audience. And then you just think of the world that is watching at home. So yes, it gets into your head. Let me make sure I do everything I can to work out as hard as I can. But I have to say, for all the negative stereotypes, I actually had a good experience because it taught me that I could have authority over my body. I could sacrifice. I could discipline myself. And I did. And I never saw that side of myself come out until pageants. The diligence, the work ethic, the sacrifice, the sometimes 2-a-day workouts, how I could push my body. So all the negative stereotypes aside, I'm really proud that I was able to, see that side of myself be born.
So you won Miss Arizona and then you go to compete to Miss USA. What does the prep work for that look like? From like, like this girl went into your class and she was like, okay, bye, I'm leaving to go compete in Miss USA. What was that timing like? And what was the like preparation that had to go in to get you ready for Miss USA?
By the way, that girl ended up becoming my best friend now, and I'm the godmother to her children, the girl that I met
How
in English.
Beautiful.
But I did take a semester off. It's a lot of working out, like I said, diet, looking for the perfect gown, prepping for interview, prepping for bikini. It's a lot. It's a job. That's why people like me, I took the semester off and I ended up graduating, the year later. So a lot goes into it, but it definitely helped shape me into who I am today. I'm really grateful.
So I was doing my research prior to this interview and I saw the video of Miss USA and you were top 5.
Yeah, I still can't believe that.
You were top 5. Have you watched the video again? And 2,
I can't find it.
You can't find it?
It's
really?
so vintage.
I'll send it to you, girl.
It's okay. We don't need to see it.
2, you were the only Latina in the top 5.
Yes.
Diversity is a big topic right now. How does it make you feel that you were the only Latina in 2009? It was 2009, right?
2009, yeah.
2009, you were the only Latina in the top 5 category.
I mean, I'm always going to do everything I can, por la raza.
Yeah.
Por la raza. I'm so proud. I was proud then. I'm proud now. I got really lucky. I'm going to be honest. Very blessed because the stereotypical pageant stuff you hear,
You didn't experience it?
I didn't. I felt very proud to be the representative, to be Latina, to represent my state. And yeah, all my friends who I met, great people. So I'm really thankful. And again, I'm so far removed. I feel like a vintage viejita. I have no idea what's going on in the pageant world.
Does it almost feel like a different lifetime ago? Like when you look back, you're like, oh, dang, I did live through that.
I've lived many lives.
Yeah.
I feel like I've lived so many lives.
So many lives.
Yes.
So then after, we were talking about how you went to go live in LA.
Yeah. So I got engaged after Miss USA. And then after we called off that engagement, that's when I ran away to LA because I always wanted to live in LA. So ran away to LA, and it wasn't for singing. Again, I was still pretty shy about that. It was for modeling and hosting. So that's what I moved out there for. And it wasn't until the very end of my time in LA that I started dabbling in music. So I got signed with Wilhelmina right when I moved out there, and I was tiny. It was like right after my pageant days, so I knew how to snap back into pageant shape for a good photo shoot. And then God forbid you gain 5 pounds and you don't look like your pictures, they'll tell you. And they did. And I really credit the thick skin that I have today to living out in LA. So no regrets, but it taught me a lot.
So I want to talk a little bit about relationships because you kind of touched upon it a little bit. So if you don't mind, I would love to talk about relationships. So how have you balanced your relationships? Because you are a public figure. You know, you've been a public figure for years and years and years. And I feel like sometimes the public puts expectations or whatever it may be, right? How have you balanced like your relationships with your career?
Ooh, relationships.
Yes.
How much time do we have?
Let's get comfy.
Oh boy. Well, I before Jesus, I am a serial girlfriend. Like I love having a boyfriend. I love. So I never was single. The entire time living out in LA, I had to have my boyfriend. He'd come with me to everything. So I knew that was going to be a hindrance because in LA, in Hollywood, yes, the single girl, not tied down, is ideal. But I didn't follow that rule because like I said, I was very much dependent on my relationship. So I don't know if that hurt me. Again, I see it as God's protection. If at the end of the day I didn't get a job because I was in a relationship, then I don't want that job. But it just goes to show that Hollywood wants to perceive a woman as available. That way the men who are her fans, they just, in their minds, think they have a chance with her or something. I don't know what their theory is, but just this single lady.
There's a psychological like reasoning behind it, supposedly.
Yeah.
Yes. So you got married.
I did.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Of course.
Was this the boyfriend that you had in LA?
No, this was a man I met when I was on the tail end of living in LA. And he was living in Florida. His name's Derek. And I was, of course, in LA. And we met through my sister and her husband. They had coached football together and we're friends.
So you guys did long distance?
We did for a few months. And then being the man that he is, he was like, LA or Arizona? Where do you see yourself long term? Well, Arizona. I'm coming home one day.
Yeah.
And so he moved to Arizona before I even did. And then a couple months later, I packed up and moved back home to Arizona too.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that period like?
Honestly, looking back, it's all a blur.
Yeah.
Because everything happened so fast. My sister announced her pregnancy right when I moved back. So it just seemed like, wow, okay, perfect timing. And this is how it's going to be. And then we got engaged that New Year's Eve. And the wedding was the following year in November. So everything was just really fast.
Super fast.
Yeah.
One thing after the next.
Yeah. And it felt like, okay, I'm 30 now. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what society says we have to do.
Right.
And he's a man of God. So what could go wrong? You know, like I just dove in, and looking back, because where I'm at now today, spiritually speaking, like I just look back at that season with a completely different lens.
So you mentioned the pressure and kind of society, and I don't know if it's a Latina thing or if it's just like every woman feels this way of like, oh, I'm 30. We were just talking about it before the podcast started, how I had like a little episode last night where I'm like, damn, I'm 28. I don't have any kids. By the time I decide, like if I want to decide to have kids now, the earliest I can have kids, the baby will be like, I'll be 30 when the baby's born, right? And then when they're 10, I'll be 40. And you go down this path of so much anxiety and so much stress that society kind of instills in us. We instill in ourselves the pressures that we put on a woman to have children and be a wife and be married by a certain age. How do you like cope with that? Because it's so much stress. I'm almost 30 and I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I don't want to have kids right now. But then like, yes, if we do the math, then by the time my oldest is 10, then I'll be in my 40s already, you know?
Well, we talked about things evolving earlier. Things are evolving now. Women are having children later. I mean, in their mid 40s, whether or not you define that as ideal, that's your prerogative. But I think women are now, you know, pursuing careers and have options, whereas they didn't really have that before. And just having kids later, people are, busy doing other things, and it's not all about hurrying up to get married, to hurry up and have those babies. And I think women, I don't know, as we evolve, I think we look better as we're getting older. Like I look at some people my age, I'm like, dang, we look good. Okay.
You're like, wow, you're 40?
Yeah, I have friends who are having babies at 42, 43, 44, 45.
Yeah.
So it's not crazy, but I understand how it can get to you thinking like, oh, the time my baby's 10, I'll be 40. But you really do have to let that go. And I'm talking to me right now too. Like we have to let that go because God has plans for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future. And his timing will be ideal for you. We just have to trust it, lean into it, surrender, and know that he's got your back.
I feel like your career and anyone in the entertainment career, you really have to make that your priority while you're trying to get to a certain point, right? At a certain level. How do you kind of weave in your personal wants as well? Like you're building your career. You did Miss Arizona, then Miss USA, then you went to LA, then you're the NBA in-game host. How do you allow time for your personal wants and needs as well? Because it's hard. Like there is no balance, but how do you incorporate that so that it's not 100% just career, but you also have the things that you personally want to work on yourself in your life?
That's a good question. I'm also in network marketing, and I'm very proud of how much success my sister and I have had in our business, hitting the top of the company, earning the company car, speaking on stage, national recognition, leaderboards. Like so much has happened in our very short, it's been 5 years that we dove into Monate, hair care, skincare, makeup, all the things. But that took up a lot of time, right? And I can see how if you just get lost in pursuing something, you end up pushing things to the side. Like I ended up focusing so much on that and also my job as the arena host. I can see how I neglected my marriage, not even realizing it because he was so supportive and never made me feel guilty or never questioned why I'm on my phone so much. He supported that. But I can see how you can get lost in that and you're so busy building and you're coming up on a lot of money that you've never seen before. And pride can get in the way, ego can get in the way, selfishness can get in the way. And I'm just speaking from my own experience. I can see how it did neglect the most sacred relationship after Jesus is supposed to be my husband. But I can see how that did not happen. Now, if I could do things over and prioritize my marriage, I don't know, would I have had as much success in this business? I don't know. And that's the thing, right? We're trying to have all the success and all the things we do. But now moving forward, I fully intend to make my marriage number one. And if that means other things fall apart, as long as I have my marriage, then I'll be okay. So it's tough. I don't think I answered your question fully, but it's tough being a woman when you want to do it all, I think is my answer. Like we want to do it all, but sometimes you're going to have to pick and prioritize.
Especially we were, again, just talking about it as well, which I think we should have recorded this podcast, but we were just talking, right? Because we were talking about everything that a woman goes through. And even more so, if it's hard right now, I don't know, it's going to be even more hard, when kids come into the picture. I think about that myself. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I see all the women in Monate who have 3 or 4 children who are balancing school and speaking on stage. And they're, school pickup and school drop.
Your sister does it all.
My sister's the exact example. I don't know how she does it with 3 kids, but yet she does.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how now that we're thinking about these things because we're wanting them soon at some point in our lives, we're like, dang, how did our parents do it? How did my mom do it? How does your sister do it? They make it look so easy.
Oh, I'm just the Thea. When she asked me to go pick them up from school, and I'm like, okay, it's like a whole day. It's like a project. I'm like, how does my sister do this day in and day out? But you know what? God will always give you the tools you need. He will equip you, and it's your timing. There's no perfect time to have kids. There's no perfect time to get married. No one's ever ready to be a parent. No one's ever ready to do X, Y, or Z. When you step into it, God equips you and you'll get it done. You'll figure out a way. So I'm sure when it's my time, I will be a hands-on mom. I will still be a business owner. I'll be still doing all the things I want to do, but I will learn to prioritize and allocate my time better now that I'm older and wiser.
Have you always been this positive person?
No.
No.
No. I don't think, in fact, I 48 hours ago, I was having a meltdown. Part of being a woman is the roller coaster. It's the emotions. So thank you for saying, that I'm positive. But there are days where you're not. We're human beings. We're human, and we're going to have those hard days. We're going to have those, Red Sea moments. I was listening to a pastor, what's his last name? Savchuk, Vlad Savchuk. And I'm obsessed with his teachings now. Like, I've truly been consumed by it. And his podcast the other day was talking about when you get to the Red Sea, right? Do you know the story in the Bible? Obviously, you know the story in the Bible where he, let my people go, and Pharaoh finally lets them go. They're running free, and then they get to the Red Sea. Like, great, now what? They were all happy, and now what? And I have my Red Sea moments where I'm like, I took a leap of faith. Everything's going great. Oh, and now what? What's this roadblock, But God always parts the sea so you can walk right through it. You will get to the other side. And sometimes those Red Sea negative valleys, those dips, when you're not always happy, are for your purification. It's not meant to drown you. It's meant to drown the enemy. It's meant to drown your insecurities, your fears, your doubts, your Pharaoh. So, no, I'm not always this happy. But in my valleys, I'm like, okay, what's the lesson to be learned here? And I always find it.
What's the lesson to be learned? It's not what's happening to me. It's what's happening for me.
The breaking of you is the making of you.
Yes. Let's talk about your faith, because I feel like that's a big part of who you are. And I know we were talking about it, like I said. So you were raised Catholic, and now you're Christian. For those people who are like wanting to have a better relationship with God, can you talk us through how you found Jesus and how you started to build that relationship and incorporate him in your life more?
This is my favorite topic ever. I was just actually recently rebaptized about 7 months ago in Colombia.
Okay.
2024. So 7 months.
Less than a year. Yeah.
Yes. And I had been baptized in my early 20s when I was living in LA. I made that decision, but I got very lukewarm. But rewind to when I was 9 months old, I do not remember that baptism as a Catholic. Okay, I couldn't tell you what I wore, who was there, what we had for the pachanga after. Like, I don't know nothing about that day. I just know I didn't make that decision. I did in my 20s, but I did fall off, and I got lukewarm. And I just had the decision this past year to get rebaptized. And I'm so thankful I did, because this time it's a complete transformation. I don't even recognize my face in the mirror, my heart posture, everything's changed. And it's a relationship now versus religion, completely different. Before, God was just this big, huge, imaginary guy in the sky. Yes, I believe in him. Now, I believe Jesus is sitting right here, because it says where two or more are gathered in his name and talking about him, he's here.
Right.
He's with me in the car. He's with me when I wake up in the morning. He's with me 24/7. And I can't help but to smile.
Yeah.
It's a complete transformation.
Do you remember the moment that you decided you wanted to have a better relationship with him?
It's such a long story. This is such a long story. But I had been lukewarm. I got divorced because of my own conviction to pursue happiness. Because the world will tell you, be happy. But the Bible doesn't say be happy. It says be holy. Or follow your heart. The world tells you, follow your heart. But the Bible says, do not follow your heart. Your heart will deceive you. The world will tell you, believe in yourself. The Bible says, believe in God. The world will tell you, pursue your truth. There's only one truth, right? So the world is so backwards. There is a very dark ruler here, and there's a devil who roams and steals and kills and destroys, and he hates marriage. But when you're living in the world instead of in the word, you get so consumed with your happiness, your truth. And so to have fallen off so far, not even know it, to the point that, filed for the divorce, got the divorce, moved on. I was dating apps, Hinge, Bumble, living my truth, living in my flesh, only to be slapped wide awake in the middle of nowhere, suddenly and quickly. That's how God works, though. He's a suddenly God. He's a turnaround God. And I can't explain it better than it was out of nowhere. I was skipping along, living my life in my flesh, thinking I was a good Christian girl, until he got a hold of me. Because the Bible says, and it's true, he will literally leave the 99 to go after his one lost sheep. And I didn't even know I was a lost sheep. I didn't even know until he got a hold of me, and nothing's been the same since. It was in August 2024. A friend of mine wanted to get divorced. She was opening up to me, and something unlocked in me, like this rage of like anger. I was so angry. I'm like, not another divorce. Why? And I was able to talk her off the ledge and tell her why not to do it. And I was like, why didn't I fight for my own marriage this way? Why am I so angry for her and upset and angry at Satan? But for me, I was like, nope, this is what has to happen. I was so convicted. And so from that moment forward, I ran home, literally ended the relationship I was in at the time. He was a nice guy, Catholic guy, but we were just not equally yoked. We didn't speak the same language. And I just felt God trying to get a hold of me the whole time, like, this isn't the one for you. But I'd be like, oh, but it's fine. I did things your way, the super Christian way before, because me and my husband saved our first kiss for our wedding day. I don't think I told you that.
No.
So we did things the super Christian way.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out.
He was Christian too.
Born and raised. He was born and raised from the time he was like 4. He asked Jesus to come into his heart. And when I was 4, I was already like drawn to like really bad things. If there was like nudity on TV, I was curious. I wanted to see, like, I just had the Jezebel spirit, and I didn't even know. Generational curses, I didn't even know what those were.
Yeah.
So all that to say, I did it the right way when I married my husband, because he was Christian. I thought, this cleans up all my past, all the secrets of my past, all my secret little, hidden secrets and perversion that I thought it was just me. This cleans it all up. We're going to save our first kiss, right? So, yeah. What a story I'll tell one day when I can get it all on paper and organized, because I'm sure this is a bit much, a little chaotic.
No,
over the place.
I mean, it's real and it's raw. You know what I mean? Of just like how much your life has really changed in just like less than a year, like 7 months ago,
Quickly, but that's who God is. He can turn anything around at any time to anyone. Even when you're not even asking. I wasn't even asking. I was, again, skipping along, living in my flesh, living in my truth. I was happy. I was fine. I wasn't unhappy with the guy I was dating. He's a good guy. But God was like, whoosh, and got a hold of me, and he hasn't let go since.
So you got baptized the second time you got baptized. So not when you were in a baby, but when you were second
My
time,
20s.
Yeah,
right.
in your 20s. And then you said you were like, okay, in a period where you had religion in your life, but you didn't have a relationship. Were there certain things, or was it just part of being in your 20s that kind of like separated you from having a relationship with God?
I didn't know what a relationship was until about 7 months ago. A true relationship with Christ. I would have to say I did not really know what that meant.
How would you describe like what actually having a relationship with God is to you in this moment?
It's all consuming. It is beautiful. It's freedom. It's something that I'll never probably be able to put into words. Remember how I said I was like the serial girlfriend? I always needed a relationship.
Yeah.
And now I don't. Now I'm single for the first time in my life. I don't want anyone but Jesus. I'm not searching for anything to fill a void, because he's more than enough. I don't know how else to explain it other than it's fulfilling. It's enough. He's enough. I don't need anything but Jesus. And it's the best feeling in the world. I wish everyone could experience it, but most people are we're consumed. We're distracted. The devil has many people in a chokehold, and they don't even know. But relationship, I mean, think about any relationship that you treasure now. Can't even compare. It can't compare. It should be the first and last thing you think about. You wake up and you go to bed, and I only listen now to like worship music. I've banned all secular music. I don't listen to anything anymore. I don't even watch TV anymore. I'm just like so enamored. You know when you first start dating someone and you're just like
that honeymoon phase. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Enamored.
Yes.
Yes.
And to know that he feels that way about me. He knows every hair in my head. The best feeling.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Honestly, I really do
talk about it all day.
Yes. Yes. I really do appreciate you sharing that, because I feel like it is something that's super important. And I think it's something that's not talked about enough. Like, I feel like we talk about everything, being a girl, being this, being that. But I think sometimes like we don't have these relationships about like our relationship with God.
Yeah.
Well,
now I'm so passionate about it that I've started Bible studies. I have one tonight. Right after this, I'm heading to our 3rd Bible study in person. We do one every month, and then I do it bi-weekly online, because I'm so passionate about this that I want women to know that there is a safe space to talk about it. We have fellowship and a community where you can talk about things that are going on or that have been going on since you were a little girl and you thought it was just you.
Mm.
So just having a safe space and community and fellowship, because the devil wants to keep you isolated. The devil wants to keep you thinking it's just you who has these issues, and it's just you who has this marital issue. And if you were to separate, you would be happy like them. The devil's a liar. The devil's a thief. And so to have these Bible studies now where I just mentor and I pray, I'm equipping women to just know their worth in Christ. And when you put him first, everything else will fall into place. All these accolades I've had, all these accomplishments mean nothing. Nothing. I'd give it all away for him. And it's because of him that I've even accomplished any of these things. But man, to just live for him and not for me, it's a total freedom that I pray everyone will get to experience in this life.
Your favorite chapter of your book, like you said, how did this job came about? I saw something on your YouTube channel that you were doing a few hosting gigs here and there. And I remember the specific video. This must have been, gosh, I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago that you posted it. That you said something, you were like, I want to come back as an official NBA in-game host for the Phoenix Suns. So how did this job come into your life, knock on your door?
Well, you said to change subjects, but it is Jesus. But truly writing things down as if they already are yours.
Mm-hmm.
Affirmation, just seeing it every day, like I am X, Y, or Z. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and I still have it on my refrigerator to this day. I just found it like a month ago.
Yeah.
That I had written down on a piece of paper. I'm the host for the Suns. I'm the host for the Suns. I'm so happy and grateful now that. I even put down how much money was in my bank account. I wrote down, I'm so happy and grateful now that I sing at all these events. So everything has come true that I wrote down. So I believe in the power of writing things down, and to think that I wasn't even like as, on fire for Jesus then as I am now. But even back then I was like, okay, God, here's what I want. Here's my order.
Yes.
So, writing things down and believing it with your whole heart, mind, body, spirit is powerful.
Exactly how you wrote things. I want to be the NBA host. I want to do this. I want to do that.
Yeah.
What is something you want to add to that list that you haven't tapped into yet?
Okay, something that I haven't tapped into yet, or something that I hope to tap into again, is to be a wife. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am a wife. I'm a bride. I'm a bride right now. I'm a bride to the bridegroom, to Jesus, but I do hope to be a bride to my husband here on earth. And motherhood. I hope to be a mom. That is something also that the enemy stole from me, because I did not want no kids. I was like, I want to accomplish all my stuff. How am I going to do all these things with kids? I don't want kids. I like waking up when I do. I like, my schedule. I travel, blah, blah, blah. I like my freedom. Now I want motherhood. So I'm so happy and grateful now that I am.
I love that.
That's the only 2 things I got left that I want to do in this life. Wife, mom.
If you can go back to the little girl, 5 years old, in Ahwatukee, who grew up with your sister, Lisa, what would you tell that little girl?
Say, buckle up, because it's about to get really good and it ain't going to be boring. And also, I'd say, find Jesus sooner. Oh, the problems you wouldn't have if you would just get close with God now.
What would you tell those young girls who want to pursue a career, and whatever it is, whatever, it doesn't even have to be in the entertainment field, but they have that notion of, wait, I have to do my career first and then everything else comes second?
Just shoot your shot. If you want to do something, do it. But there's nothing more important than family, and then love, than Jesus. So get your priorities right and straight. Don't let the world lie to you and tell you to hurry up and you're running out of time and you have to do it this way. Do it your way. Shoot your shot and have fun along the way. I've honestly had fun in everything I've done. If it ain't fun, do not do it. But learn to prioritize what's important. Because at the end of the day, I cannot take my Miss Arizona USA crown. I cannot take my beautiful home I'm so thankful to have right now. I cannot take my company car that I have out there. I can't take any of the beautiful purses and the shoes and all the things that are material. I can't take any of that with me. Can't take my microphone hosting all these Suns games that I've treasured over the last 6 years. I can't take any of that. I can only take my heart. So at the end of the day, what is the scripture that don't store up for yourself treasures here on earth where moths and thieves steal and destroy? but instead store up yourself treasures in heaven. That's what matters. So take care of your heart and your soul, because the material things, as fun and cool as they are, and I'm very proud, I'm so thankful. It's been a fun life. On my deathbed, none of that's going to matter. When I'm old and gray, who's going to be around me on that deathbed? The legacy, my children. The crown that I had, all the awards I've won, they're going to be collecting dust. I can't take that with me. None of it matters. So I would tell any little girl, yes, have fun, chase your dreams, do all the things, fly to the moon, be a singer. But one day you're going to be old and gray in bed, and none of what you're doing right now is going to matter. Not how much money you make, not your accomplishments, not if you wear the prettiest crown, the prettiest dresses. None of it matters. What matters is who's going to be next to you. You go home.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this beautiful conversation. I think it's a topic that we haven't had on the podcast, and it's just so beautiful to see the relationship that you've built with Jesus and how you carry yourself and how you just you're super authentic. And thank you for everything. Thank you for representing us. Thank you for sharing your truth and just inspiring us all.
The truth, not my truth, the truth.
So thank you for being here, honestly.
Thank you for having me. Any chance I get to tell the truth, I'm gonna. So I thank you for the opportunity and opening this space for Latinas and empowering and equipping, our demographic, because this is conversation that needs to be had more often. So thank you.
100%. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for tuning in another week. I will see you here back next week on Wednesday. Bye.